Actually, this election is critically important for democracy, for the constitution, and for all of us. And as an RTI activist, I can tell you that the campaign for transparency and accountability was not a fight merely against corruption. It was also a struggle against arbitrary use of power. It was also to understand how mechanisms work within the government so that we can claim democratic rights. Because without claiming those democratic rights, all our singular campaigns are useless. In this effort, I think the greatest contribution our Right to Information Act has done has to rebuild the consciousness among citizens how the system and political parties we elect to power must work and of course be transparent and accountable. In the last 4 years, there has been such a setback to the basic concepts of the Constitution, the constitutional guarantees, the assurances that we have got, in fact, the faith that people like me have vested in the Constitution and therefore felt that except for a suspension like happened when it happened during the emergency, we would always be protected by its tenets and values. There has been an absolute disregard for the constitutional values. There has been an attack on all the fundamental rights. There has been an absolute and complete attack on people who spoke up for those constitutional guarantees. It's not merely the people who have been high profile about whom we have all seen, but it's been people in villages, the poor, the Adivasis, people's land has been taken away, people's forest rights have been taken away, women's rights have been taken away, Dalits have been run underground by tractors and killed. Of course, the minorities have been attacked everywhere without any impunity at all by the system. An understanding of how we are democratic must extend to realizing how the Constitution works. And for that reason, it's important that we understand that a political party we elect to power must absolutely and totally accept the values of the Constitution. Let's also understand that this Constitution was given to us immediately after independence. And people who wrote the Constitution saw the bloodbaths of partition. They saw the extraordinary amount of agony on both sides, and they were determined that India would remain a secular country, that India would not bring in religion into governance, a concept which was developed very, very long ago in terms of governance values, that religion and secular governance should be separate. Secularism does not mean that we are atheists. It does not mean the government is atheist or promoting atheism. It means that the government will not take sides. And this has stood us in very good stead. Today, as we look back on what has happened in the last 2 years, people like us who felt that we were democratic citizens and we were proud Indians, proud that in spite of everything that was wrong with our country, we still upheld democratic values, are indeed agonized, we are worried, and we are really at the brink so far as democratic values are concerned. And my RTI users must understand that it's not just the mechanism of the commissioner and of this, that and the other. It's a question of whether actually you will reach the other end of being a citizen with equality, with fraternity and liberty. And unless that is ensured and guaranteed, if the Constitution is changed, Article 19 goes, the RTI goes. For those of us who are worried about other rights-based legislations, if the fundamental rights go, all our rights go. So in fact, this is a critical election in which we now vote not merely for a party, but for democracy. We are voting for the Constitution and for democracy and against people who talk ill of it.